You know, I love the end of the world disaster movies. I mean, seriously, those are like one of the main reasons you will want to go to the theater for the escapism aspect of it all. So when you have a plot to where the moon is actually crashing into the earth, which seems outlandish, and then your main lead is Halle Berry, that's all you have to say to get me to the theater. So how did this one turn out? Well, let's talk about it. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Just My Opinion for my movie review for Moonfall. And if this is your first time finding me and you happen to like the video, please give me that thumbs up and consider subscribing. So guys, when I first saw the trailer for this film, when I first found out about its upcoming release, I was extremely excited about it. I was like, okay, a moon crashing into Earth? Okay, sign me up, that sounds pretty cool. Then I found out the director, Roland Emmerich, is gonna be a part of this. I'm like, oh yes, he's one of my favorite directors because he is the king of end of the world disaster movies. And like I said, I am a big fan of Halle Berry. And we have Moonfall right here. I mean, look at that poster. It looks all kind of badass. When I saw that, I got really excited. And like I said, this is being written and directed by Mr. Roland Emmerich. And when you go over to his page, this is what the gentleman looks like. And if we just scroll down to his filmography, this is why he is considered the king of end of the world disaster movies. I mean, we have the Independence Day right here, The Day After Tomorrow, 2012, and I loved all those films. They were all fantastic to me. Independence Day Resurgence was a piece of trash, but everybody does have a bad day at the office. So I was just thinking with Independence Day, The Day After Tomorrow, 2012, and also 10,000 BC, which wasn't that bad of a movie, that, you know, hey, with Halle Berry and the moon crashing into the earth, I mean, we're going to have a great time on our hands, especially with more cast like Patrick Wilson. I'm a big fan of his too. But before I get into all of my likes and dislikes, let me tell you exactly what this film is all about. In Moonfall, a mysterious force knocks the moon from its orbit around Earth and sends it hurtling on a collision course with life as we know it. With mere weeks before impact and the whole world on the brink of annihilation, NASA executive and former astronaut Jo Fowler is convinced she has the key to saving all of us. But only one astronaut from her past, Brian Harper, Patrick Wilson, and a conspiracy theorist, Casey Houseman, believe her. These unlikely heroes will mount an impossible last-ditch mission into space, leaving behind everyone they love, only to find that they might have prepared for the wrong mission. Now, guys, if you ask me, that plot synopsis sounds absolutely fascinating. How can you not get excited for hearing such a thing? But to be completely honest with you guys, this film was absolutely horrible, awful. This is truly a contender to be one of the worst films of 2022. And my goodness gracious, we're only in February. I'm so disappointed in how this turned out because I am a Roland Emmerich fan. And when you look at his filmography that I just listed, it seems like each film that he puts out is getting worse and worse with his age. And I don't understand that. Now, let's divide this up. Let's talk about the good first before we talk about the bad. The good, Halle Berry and Patrick Wilson. Those are the only good things in this movie. If they were not in this film, if they were not present, it is scary how this thing would have turned out. Now, when I say they was good in this movie, they were the best things, but I don't even really want to say they were good. They just were the best things. They were competent characters. Really wasn't anything special about them. I'll just say that they didn't suck. They were nice to look at. They sounded nice and they made sense. They were competent. And when you have a $150 million production budget for a film, I think that's the very least that you can ask for. So I'm a fan of Halle Berry. I'm a fan of Patrick Wilson. They didn't blow me out of the water, but they did not fall below expectations. They were subpar. They were okay. They did not suck. Everything else in this film was absolute trash. And I just don't understand what the big problem is and why Roland Emmerich is going down in quality with each film that he writes and directs. Now, if you are going into Moonfall wanting it to make complete sense and be plausible and all that, this is possibly not the film for you. This is Moonfall. A moon is crashing into the earth. I mean, that is outlandish in itself. So it is known that you're going to have to suspend your thought of disbelief just a bit so you can enjoy this film. And even if it was dumb and it does not make sense, at the very least, I was saying to myself, hey, if this whole film is just silly and doesn't add up and won't make sense, which is a strong possibility, at the very least, I can get some wonderful visuals, some of the best CGI in Hollywood that is going to give me some type of visual pleasure. But I did not get that in this film. The visuals in this movie were horrible. And again, that's very disappointing because in this last film, 2012, that looked phenomenal. I remember the trailers, just seeing these giant cities tilt on their axis and float into giant bodies of water is mind-blowing. To see people running for their lives on foot, in cars, on buses, in planes, on a train, with the entire ground sinking into itself was scary. And I've never seen anything like that before in any film. And that was 10 years ago in 2000. Matter of fact, the movie is called 2012, but I think the film came out before that. Let me just check that out real quick because, you know, when films, it came out in 2009. So this film came out 12, 13 years ago. And then the effects in that film look 10 times better than something that you can give us in 2022. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. Please, somebody help me out in the comment section because I'm confused. And the thing is, not only is it bad in this film, it's like you have the perfect opportunity just to showcase what you can do with the computer, just showing how a moon cracking apart in the stratosphere, I'm finna say missiles with rocks and boulders and just big chunks of the moon crashing into the earth. Just imagine how that will look. But in this, it looked like a Lego miniature set, like real talk. I was like, whoa, what is going on? I was just talking about in 2012 how all the cities are going into the water. When they were showing wide shots of the city with water flooding in, I promise to God it looked like a little claymation Play-Doh set or something like that with some paint on by the numbers effects. It was, I was like, are you serious? And they tried to enhance it with a little bit of CGI, what, like $30,000? I mean, y'all did not spend enough money or detail on this, and it was ridiculous. So that was bad right there. Now, it did get a little bit better towards the end where they was in space, showing the thing that they ruined in the trailers, revealing too much. They did get a little bit better, but it did not blow my socks off. I was not impressed by this at all. And that's just another bad thing about this film. They put the entire movie in the trailer. Why would you do that? All you have to do is put Halle Berry on the poster and say that the moon is crashing into the earth. That's all you got to do. Show a few little shots here and there, but no, they want to show that. They want to have all the important dialogue in the movie, and then they want to show the entire space exploration and them going into the moon, and it's in the trailer, and I was not blown away by anything when I saw this movie, other than how stupid it was when everything is revealed towards the end. But before we go there, we talked about how they put everything in the trailers, and so you're not surprised, and I also talked about how bad the CGI effects were in this movie. Now let's move on to the characters. Again, Patrick Wilson and Halle Berry, those are the only likable characters in this movie. Everybody else in this film is a dumbass. I mean, now granted, I am not asking for these characters to be super duper Captain America athletes to where they're expert survivalists and they just know what to do in every situation known to man. That is completely unrealistic, and I'm not asking for that, but I'm just asking for a little bit of common sense. Now, you also heard the expression of trapped like a deer in headlights, to where if you're in the middle of the road and somebody's coming, you're going to be frozen in fear. And even though that still sounds a bit ridiculous to me, I can still give somebody the benefit of the doubt if they kind of catch themselves in that predicament. But some of the characters are like 10 times dumber than that in this film. I mean, man, they are just sitting there for 60 seconds watching water come about to wash them away. Everybody else want to run. You just want to sit there and like, okay, maybe if I'm still, the water won't see me and it'll go right by. Oh God, help me. And I'm just like, I'm supposed to root for you? You idiot. Why do you, why do you even have to be a main character? Why can't you just be some offshoot character on the side that die and we don't got to worry about you no more? But you one of the main supporting characters that we got to follow throughout the whole film? It doesn't make any sense. And in all these movies, you always have the same recurring plot or plot devices or characters repeating itself. There's always a couple in here that have some type of a strange relationship or divorce. Now, you had that with Will Smith and Jasmine in the Independence Day, but he was trying to propose to her, but they wasn't married. In 2012, you also had John Cusack's character with his wife. There was divorce, and she was with another dude, and they beefing. Same thing in this movie. The new boyfriend, husband, whatever, is an a-hole, and he always talking trash, and it's annoying and all that. Now, I don't mind that type of stuff repeating itself, but when the movie sucks, it makes it stand out even more like a sore thumb. So when you have all this big bag of BS on top of each other, sticking up the joint, it just makes the experience that much worse. And now, guys, let's move on to the end. My goodness gracious, how this has to be one of the dumbest plot reveals I have ever seen in my entire life. I mean, the plot in this movie changed more times that there are stars in space. It was, I'm so confused. And then again, everything is so convenient in this movie. Every time they come up with a new solution out of nowhere, they just kind of pull it out the rear end. They come up with a problem and they solve it right away, which gives you no stakes in the movie whatsoever at all. They throw out all logic. I'm not no scientist, astronaut, but even I have a better sense of how gravity works in this movie. These characters may have gone ahead and popped into Super Mario Brothers world and ate the little golden star that makes them hop all around because, man, oxygen is coming in and out of the atmosphere. Gravity is going up and down. People getting superpowers here and there. None of the characters want to team up. The end of the world is coming and you want to rob people? Come on, man. And nobody's having a conversation or talking to nobody. The government is stupid as hell. They just want to blow up everything. Wow, I'm so sidetracked. I was supposed to be talking about the plot of how the moon is coming down to the earth. What were y'all thinking? This plot had to be changed in the middle of the editing room. Like, seriously, they had to been editing this thing and the whole studio blew up because it don't make no sense. What they did to try to reveal how the moon is coming to the earth, imagine taking the whole entire lore of the Lord of the Rings and Star Wars and then trying to condense all that down into 30 seconds of plot. How the hell are you going to do that? That alone not only is enough for a movie in itself, you can do a whole nother series bigger than the MCU. And they tried to condense that down. I'm like, wait a minute, what kind of exposition is that? Their explanation is this, and we just want you to accept it. And like seriously, there's so many plot holes in this thing. Like it's crazy. Nothing makes sense. They just keep throwing stuff at you. This movie was trash. This movie was trash. I know y'all may not consider this review, but it was long rant. But man, this was off. And the thing about it is, when I left the screening for this, they got the people out there telling me, hey, what you think to the film? And I'm just like, the people are like, oh man, it was great. It was amazing. I'm like, what? Hey man, that's what they say. All things are subjective. So I'm not telling you to not go see this movie. I'm not. If you want to spend your coin on it, if you want to spend your money, go do that. I'm just here to give you my opinion, but I thought this movie sucked something serious. It's not Bleach bad, because I will say, while Halle Berry and Patrick, it's nearly that. But while Patrick Wilson and Halle Berry were fine, also, it did keep me interested until the end, but there was just no payoff. You have to take your brain out and flush it down the toilet if you want to find any enjoyment. They didn't even try. And the thing about it, what makes this film so bad is I would be willing to turn my brain off and accept this film as it's just dumb fun and I'm just going to shove popcorn in my face and enjoy it for what it is. The reason I can't do that and I'm trashing it so much is because I'm comparing it to Roland Emmerich's past films. If this was his first time out or second or somebody else, I would not be going as ham on the film this much. But he did Independence Day, 2012, and The Day After Tomorrow. In my opinion, those films are in the same exact vein of this. Same plot points, same structure, same all that. And those films are far superior to this film than those. So if he can do it then, he can do it here. And so this is just an example to me of a bad day at the office. This was just lazy, and that's why I'm going so bad on it, because he's done the same thing much, much better back in 1996 and 2009 and 2004 with those films. So there's just no excuse. I will give my rating for this at the very end of this video, but guys, that is just my opinion, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy this film, please go ahead and give me the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Why would you want to subscribe to my channel, where you're going to get movie reviews like my latest one, Jackass Forever, Scream? You also get spoiler movie reviews. I also have a weekly movie news roundup show every Sunday, 6:30 p.m. CST. I'm also doing weekly Peacemaker, recaps, Power Book 2 Season 2 Ghosts, and also Euphoria Season 2. And you also may get a trailer reaction, and if I'm lucky, an interview here and there. So guys, if I had to rate Moonfall out of a 1 out of 10, I would give this film a 2 out of 10. Yes, a 2 out of 10, because it's just that bad. It dang near got the bleach. But guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.